Almost. You were almost mine, and yet not quite. A flicker, fading into night. You touched my soul, but not my skin. The love I held stayed locked within. I joked, I teased, I played along, but you never heard my silent song. 1,000 chances passed by us, each failed with words I let slip dry. You smiled, unaware of me, while I drowned in what could be. You were not cruel, you were kind, but you were never truly mine. We were a story that never began, a dream I cradle in trembling hands, like dew that vanished with light. You slipped away before the night. I watched you walk, unaware of all the hope that hung in air. I memorized your every move, still pretending I was smooth. In crowded rooms, I stayed nearby. In silence, I would testify. My heart would race, my words would freeze, as love grew roots beneath my knees. I feared your no, yes. I feared your yes. I feared I would ruin tenderness, so I let the silence bloom instead, and never a word stayed in my head. You would talk of dreams, I would nod and smile, pretending I would be fine a while. But deep inside, my chest would ache, each moment more than I could take. I loved the way you would tilt your head, the way you laughed, the things you said. I loved you when you didn't know, in spring, in rain, in falling snow. I knew your voice like my own name, but never dared to light the flame. I lived between the if and might, a prisoner of almost light. You never knew I wrote for you, lines hidden deep in skies so blue. Poems I whispered to the air, because I knew you wouldn't care, not out of malice, not from pride, but simply I was not inside. The world you built, the path you choose, I was the silence, not the prose. I wonder if you ever guessed the war I fought inside my chest. Each time you looked and looked away, my soul would ache, yet choose to stay. You never asked, I never told. The love can bloom without a hold. That heart can break with just a glance, but never given half a chance. I loved in shadow, feared the sun, scared to begin what cannot be done. So I watched you live, I let it be, and locked my love where none could see. You shared your days, your little fears, your weekend plans, your dreams, your tears. And I, your friend, your listening ear, pretending love was nowhere near. How many times did I almost speak? How many nights did I grow weak? How many verses went unsaid while you lived whole and I played dead? I wasn't scared, and it wasn't fair to call it fate, for fate wouldn't arrive too late. No, this was me, and this was choice, to hush the truth, to kill the voice. I feared your eyes would turn away, that I would lose you in a day. So better to keep love denied than watch it fall and then subside. But still, each time you called my name, the butterflies returned the same. You would ask for help, you would laugh and joke, and I would nod while my heart broke. I almost told you in the park when golden leaves fell after dark. I almost told you in the rain when you confessed your recent pain. I almost told you in July when fireworks lit up the sky. And once again, I stayed your friend, not knowing that would be the end. Now years have passed, and still you live inside the spaces I forgive. I see your posts, your travels far, a different life beneath your stars. I hear your name in passing breeze, and still, it still can bring me to my knees. You found a love, a kind, good girl, and I still scroll, still barely can. But I won't ruin what you have made. I won't rewrite the role I played. You found your joy. It wasn't me, and I set your ghost quietly free. Still, sometimes when the moon is low, I wonder if you will ever know the poems you will never get to keep, the dreams I buried deep in sleep. You were the boss I never said, the novel blank beneath each thread. You were the almost, the not quite, the whispered wish in silent night. And though we never had a start, you will always be a part, my heart. A lesson attached in quiet grace, the love I couldn't quite embrace. You are not mine, you never knew, but once my world revolved round you, not in the loud or fairy way, but in soft, where angels pray. In every line I have ever penned, in every dream that doesn't end, you linger still, a faded hue of something deep and pure and true. Sometimes I smile, I hope you are well, even if I never tell. And if by chance you hear this rhyme, just know you were my almost time. You were a sigh I never breathed, a wound I banged, never shed, a truth I held but never shared, because I loved you and I cared. And maybe that is love to keep, a love so silent, buried deep, to never ask, to never take, but smile of your own heaven's sake. So live, my almost, bright and free, a star that never fell for me, and I will write you in the sand, a name the tides don't understand. And when the dusk begins to bloom, I will whisper softly in my room, once there was someone I adored, and in my silence he soared. So many stories start and fade, but ours, a hush, a vow, unmade. We will never hold, we will never kiss, but in my heart, you still exist. You were a story that never began, but I remember all I can. And so I leave this here, a whisper for the hearts who loved in silence, for those who stayed quiet, not because they didn't feel, but because they felt too deeply. If you ever watched someone walk away without ever knowing what they meant to you, this poem is yours. We don't always get the ending we dream of, but sometimes the quietest love leaves the loudest echo. Thank you for listening. May your unspoken love find peace. Thank you for listening. May your unspoken loves find peace, and your heart the courage to heal. Thank you for watching The Desert Voice.